So once again, welcome everyone. I'm Prushun Roy, and I'm here today at the Pune International Literary Festival for a session with all of you, which I have named the Magical Kaleidoscope. Okay, so let me ask you something. Are you all from the same school? Yes. Which school is it? Okay. Welcome everyone. So before we go ahead, let's take a quick look about what we are going to talk about today. Okay, so this is broadly what we are going to talk about today. So first, we'll discuss a little bit about who I am. I think you need to know a little bit about who is talking in front of you. And then we'll go on into the broader topic of why I am here. Now, this year, the social theme for this literary festival is saving our earth from climate change, right? It is a topic which is being discussed across the world by many people. There are a lot of scientists who are talking about it. There are a lot of researchers who are researching it. But I think that you, the younger generations, you are the future of this country and this planet, and you need to talk about it more and more openly. If you talk about it more, then our future is safe, and that is what I'll try to do over here in this session, so that we all together we can talk about climate change, Mother Nature more. Then we'll take a look at my book. It's called Ringo and the Yogi. It has been published recently. We'll talk a little bit about it and then say goodbye to each other. And I don't want to bore all of you, so let's make this session interactive. So please do pitch in. I have some chocolates over here, so you answer a question or say something and get one of these, okay? And before we go, first question of today's session. Do you see any mismatch in this picture, in this slide? Any mismatch? Anything? Just raise your hand. Just raise your hand. Do you see anything which looks like a mismatch? इसमें कोई matching नहीं है कोई एक चीज का. What's your name first?
My name is Anurag Lagame. Sir, fingers are not matching.
So he is right actually. I would say there are 5 fingers as he said, but there are only 4 points. So I think the thumb is missing. Okay. So at the end of today's session, we'll all try to write down a thumb rule. A thumb rule that we will try to implement in our own individual lives. It can be anything that we would like to do. Alright. And that is the intention of the missing thumb. Now you see there's a handout which I have given to all of you. I'm sorry I couldn't give it to everybody. I just got 30 of it. I didn't expect so many of you will be here. So there are 2 pages on it, okay? The first page, you can write down your own thumb rules as we proceed, whatever you want to do as a thumb rule against climate change. And you can write a slogan of yours, alright? At the end of today's session, we'll just pick up 4 such slogans, and I have copies of my book over here. So I'd like to give, I can't give it to everybody, I don't have so many copies with me, but I have 4 copies. So 4 slogans get 4 copies from me, okay? And the second page in that handout, it's called an ecological handprint. So today we don't have enough time to do this and analyze this with everybody. You know, this one I think you can take it back home and practice. It has got clusters of circles, and each circle or each cluster of circle has 1 question and 4 answers to it. All you have to do is shade each of these circles what you're doing right now, and with another color you shade what you would like to do differently in the future. It's all related to saving your planet. Alright? So together with your slogan, your thumb rule, and if you sketch this handprint, I think you will have something to look back maybe every week, and you can do what you want to do. Okay, So let's move on. First, little bit about who I am. So my name is Prashun Roy, and I like to describe myself in these three little words. Firstly, I think I'm a student. My age is not that of a student, but I call myself a student because I think at every point of time in our lives we all learn something. Even today I want to learn something from all of you because I want this to be an interactive session. Okay, so and you don't need to complicate your identity, and being a student is the simplest identity that you will have in your life ever. Okay, secondly, a father. I live in Kolkata, like I said, with my family. I have two small kids. That's not the only reason why I associate with the word father. I think it's a word which gives a lot of responsibility to you. What I do as an individual will show the way forward to my children. What your parents do, you learn from that, right? So that is what, and even I am in the field of business, and in my business, whatever decisions I take, my people who are working with me, they associate with it. So it's a responsibility. That's why a father and an author. It has been a long sought after dream for me from my childhood, and finally my book has come out, so I think I can officially call myself an author. And so let's move on from here. To begin, we'll start with this statement. It says, if you cannot explain anything simply, you don't understand it well enough. क्या मतलब है कि अगर हम कुछ चीज़ समझना चाहते हैं, if we don't understand ourselves in a simple manner, तो I cannot explain it to somebody in a simple manner. So जो भी हो, whatever you are trying to learn it with a simple understanding. तो आज भी we will try to look at this big topic in a simple manner. We'll use pictures, we'll use ideas, and try to understand what we are trying to look at. Okay, next question. Does anybody know whose words are these? General knowledge question. Huh? This line, who said this line? Whose words are these? किसने बोला है? Yes. You are right. What's your name? Aditya. Here's a chocolate for you. Let's clap for Aditya. Okay, so today's session we have called, or rather I have named it as magical kaleidoscope. तो इसके नाम में दो पार्ट है. One is a magical, another is kaleidoscope. So let's take a look at each of these words individually. There's a reason behind why I wanted to name it so. So magical. Now guys, take a look at these photographs. Do you think these look magical to you?
Yes.
Why do you think it's magical? Can I have the mic, please? Just pass it down to some over there, and then we'll. What is magical in your, what do you think about magical?
Science behind it.
There is no science behind it. Okay, that's your explanation. What's your name?
Prajwal Patil.
Prajwal. Okay.
That thing does not have any logic.
That which doesn't have any logic. Okay. 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 She has an answer. Then I'll come back to you. Okay.
My name is Srushti Mungse. It is imagination, dream.
It is imagination. Okay, that's good.
It's not there in our true life or real life.
Okay, something which is not associated with real life. And last, he has something to say.
There is something different, and all of you like it.
Okay, there is something different and all of us like it. Good. So, we can say that whatever our hearts, they think, when I look at something, it says it's wonderful, it's very beautiful. Yeah, tell me. It's luminous. Okay. So, another point, guys, if you look at this picture, what do we see? We see a snowy night, and we see Santa and his reindeers going across the moon, right? Now, the snowy night can be explained logically. So there is an explanation. The snowy night has an explanation, but Santa flying with the reindeers across the moon doesn't have an explanation. So anything which is a combination where you can explain and you cannot explain, we can say that is magical. Can we not? Anything where there is a thin line between what is real and what is unreal, if that line vanishes, we can say it is magical. Right? So every picture you look at, there is something which has an explanation. The flower has an explanation on the picture over here, but the face of the flower doesn't have an explanation, but we feel good at when we look at it, right? What else do you think you can call as magical? अभी हम लोग आज एक literary festival में हैं, so use the term. What do you otherwise you can call as magical? Yeah.
It's not the reality what you play every time.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Imaginary. Other than that, anything else that is magical? Maybe your mom's cooking. Don't you think it's magical? So there is more explanation to magical also, which you cannot explain in words perhaps. Alright. Now take a look at this. This is a very common picture about evolution. Okay. How life came on this planet. So our planet was a lonely piece of cosmic material which was roaming around in the sky, and suddenly a small single-celled organism popped up with life. How did it happen? Do we have an answer? What's more, that single-cell organism moved on one side to become a seaweed, a plant, a tree, a forest. On the other side, it become a sponge, a starfish, a fish, dinosaurs, reptiles, amphibians, mammals, human beings. Right? Isn't this magical? Something where there are a lot of theories and hypotheses which say how it happened, but we still don't have a perfect answer to it. So we can take the liberty and say that evolution, whatever happened, is also magical on this planet. Look at this. What does it try to show? So we started off being monkeys with tails, right? And then we became apes. From there, Neanderthals, cavemen, early men, and then modern man. How did we become what we are today? Why did we become so intelligent? Why didn't any other species become as intelligent as we are? You can ask this question to yourself, and then you will feel that this is indeed magical. Okay? Moving on. The next word in the name was kaleidoscope. So have you seen a kaleidoscope? It looks something like this, right? And the inside, when you glance at it, it looks something like this. This is a very crude representation, but this is the best I could do. So tell me something, what is so unique about a kaleidoscope? Anyone? What is unique about it? Yes?
Light can reflect as many times as.
Huh?
Light can reflect in it, so we can see the many images.
Light can reflect. Okay, okay. Anyone else? What is so different about this? When you look at the kaleidoscope, you want to say something?
Many designs are formed.
Huh?
Many designs are formed.
Many designs are formed. Okay, I think you can get a chocolate for this. Okay, so the kaleidoscope, if you look carefully, inside the kaleidoscope, there are small components, each small pieces, colorful pieces, which are different from one another in shape, in size, right? And they are always moving. That is unique about a kaleidoscope. If you don't move the kaleidoscope, you don't get to see the beauty inside it. Okay, so it's all individual components, and they're always in a dynamic state. They're all moving, mobile, and when they come together, they create a beautiful visual effect, which we say it's fantastic, right? Now that is the unique part of a kaleidoscope. Now if you consider this picture and if you compare it with nature, there are so many species on this planet. There are so many animals, so many birds, so many kinds of trees across our planet, and they're all alive, they're all dynamic, they're all moving, right? And when they all come together, they create a beautiful universe, and that is why I wanted to name this session as a magical kaleidoscope. Got it? You understood? Okay, okay. Moving on. Mother Nature. So today's session is on saving our earth or saving Mother Nature from climate change. But let's take a look at what is our idea of nature. We are all saying that we need to save this earth, save nature, right? What comes to your mind when you listen to the word or you hear the word nature? Tell me your name. I have a chocolate. What do you think is nature?
It is beauty.
It is beauty. When you hear the word nature, the idea beauty comes to your mind, right? Okay, here's something for you. Okay, anyone else? Yes, you. Fresh water, fresh air, right? Okay, what's your name? Pratik. Okay, Pratik, did you get one earlier? No? Okay. What else? All of you, come on, speak up. Let's make this interactive. Someone from the back. Acha, you tell me.
Nature is our teacher.
Nature is our teacher. Very good. Yes? Huh? Magic of God. Okay. What else comes to your mind when you hear the word nature? Diversity. Okay. Okay.
From God.
Gift from God. Something which is more real. Huh? Plants and animals. Okay.
Structure of our nature.
Huh?
Structure of our nature
Structure. What is structure of our nature?
means different kinds of things like trees in different structures and shapes. Like
Okay. 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 So, aren't these what we commonly refer to as nature, right? When we go to a forest or when we see a lot of greenery around us, we say we are close to nature, right? When we see a beautiful garden of flowers, we say so much of colorful flowers are here, we are close to nature, right? When we see fresh vegetables, fresh fruits hanging from a tree perhaps, we say it's fresh from the nature's basket, right? When you see birds, when you go to a seaside and you see the seagulls or you see a peacock, you say what a beautiful creation of nature, right? Good. That is our understanding of nature, exactly whatever we discussed. Now think about this word nature with a different perspective. You are at a literature meet today, so use this word from the point of view of literature. Think कोई different और कोई meaning दिमाग में आता है when you think about nature? Huh? Science. Okay, science. That is also related to the previous slide, right? Because plants, trees, everything, it deals with botany or zoology, right? Yes?
Elements.
Huh?
The elements.
The elements, okay?
Where the living things live.
Living things live, okay? Yes?
nature of any person.
Good. I need to give you a chocolate for this. Here, what's your name? Suraj. Suraj. Here. Catch it. Exactly. How about human nature? He's right. These are the words of the great Mahatma Gandhi. He once said that there is always enough in our world for everyone's need, but there is not enough for everyone's greed. That was his words. Now, our human nature, a different perspective of nature, it all begins in your minds. You just had a spiritual session, okay? So everything starts in your mind. Whatever you think, you do, right? So our thoughts become our actions. And when we repeat an action, it becomes an habit, right? And when it's a habit of everybody in a community, it becomes a culture. So our thoughts convert to our actions. When we think, I'll brush my teeth tonight, and I do, so my thought is becoming my action. When I do it every day in the week or in a month, it becomes my habit. And when all the kids around the block are brushing their teeth every night, it becomes a culture, right? And when we are talking about conserving or saving a planet, we need to think about the greed part of what Mahatma Gandhi said. In our human nature, if we have the 3S, I said 3 S's, starting with sensitivity in what? In your thoughts and your emotions, because it all starts with your mind. Whatever we do begins here, right? So sensitivity in our thoughts and our emotions, then self-control in our actions and our habits, and finally selflessness in our culture. If we can implement these 3 words that he said, our human nature would not only be compassionate towards human beings, it will be compassionate towards all living and non-living things. We will have compassion for this wall, this table, everything. So the 3 S's are very important in our lives, because human nature is inherently greedy. So to control that greed, we need to understand this point. Okay, quickly moving on. Why mother? Why do we call nature as mother? What is so special about Ma? What is so special about your Ma? Say?
Nature also take our care, so we call it mother.
Okay, and your Ma takes care of you. What is the most special thing about your mother? You tell me. आपकी माँ आपके लिए सबसे स्पेशल है, राइट? हमारे सबके लिए है. So what is so special about your माँ? What you feel? कि मेरी मम्मी बहुत अच्छा पोहा बनाती है, और she sings a lot of good songs for me.
She always takes my care.
She always takes care of you. Okay, okay.
She is the one who takes the care, and she is very serious about us. She
Okay.
always thinks about us.
She always thinks about you. Okay, yes.
Not to fulfill our best needs.
She fulfills our best needs.
Yes.
Okay, good.
When we take decisions, she supports us.
She supports you. Exactly, right. Good answer. Yes.
She is the one who is beautiful in real sense, and as same as like that, my earth is also very beautiful.
Okay.
That is why we call earth as mother.
Good answer. Okay, and before we proceed, you have given a lot of different perspectives to this word. Now, in our culture, continuing from the previous slide, we are not only taught that we don't have only one mother. We have our biological mother who has given birth to us and who takes care of us, right? We are also taught that this country is our mother, Bharat Mata, right? We are taught so. We are taught that this planet is our mother, Dharti Mata. We are taught that the river Ganges is our mother, right? Ganga Ma bolte, right? Some people are taught even a cow is a mother, Go Mata, right? So think it's how crazy you are talking. talking of a cow and you're saying it's my mom, right? But why are we doing that? What is the reason behind this teaching we had? It's because we all love our mothers, right? We all care for her. We are compassionate towards her. If we consider an animal, a cow, or a river, or a piece of land as a mother, we are showing that love towards all these objects. And if we have love towards all these things, we are not going to exploit them. That is one explanation. Now, the most important question is, take a look at this picture. What is it trying to show? I have a chocolate who can answer this question. My chocolates are finishing. I have a question like, what is this slide or the two pictures trying to show? Even the elders, you can. Yes, ma'am. Balance. I can give you a chocolate from my end. Thank you. Exactly. So, think about it. Our mothers are always establishing a balance in our lives. When we are born, when we are toddlers, our mothers teach us to balance and walk. Right? When you become teenagers, your mothers balance your emotions. When you become adults, our mothers balance our relationships. And when we become parents ourselves, our mothers are balancing our families, our children. Your grandmothers might be there. She's always balancing you, your parents, right? So a mother is always in a constant process of balancing. And so does Mother Nature do. She also balances, and she balances a natural balance. Think about it. There is always enough grass for the cattle to feed upon. There is always enough air for every one of us to breathe. There is always enough water for us to drink, right? So nature is always balancing life for us, right? So that is why she is called mother. So the idea behind the last few slides was, we have always known nature as something which is around, like in trees, in plants, in animals, in science, right? But we are trying to understand how to tackle climate change. But before we try to do that, we need to understand what we are trying to protect. So nature is everywhere. It is not just in plants, in animals, in soil. It's everywhere. It's there on this wall, it's there in the air, it's there in the water, and it is there within us, in our souls, right? So there is a dual nature of nature, right? One which is outside and one which is within us, and we need to understand this fact if we try to protect it. All right, moving on. Coming to the main topic of climate change. That is the social topic for this year. So, is climate change something new? I will tell you, it is not new. There has been climate changes across the geological past of our planet. Does anybody know how many ice ages have come? We know there is a movie called Ice Age, but there had been so many ice ages. 3, right? So, when all these climate changes happened in the past, did our planet get destroyed? Are we not living? Is the planet in a bad shape? No, it is existent, right? So, what's the big deal then? So climate change is nothing new. So why are we talking about it? Right? If it is not something new, then why are people talking about it? And is it because it is not something new that we don't get to see it? Is it so? On a lighter note, if our planet was a human being and it could take a selfie and post it on social media, maybe we would have seen it that okay, chalo ye ho raha hai climate change ke wajah se. But on a lighter note, as I said, climate change has happened many times, right? But it was as if this planet has got a cold. It might have got a fever, but it learned to get over it. It has come out from that ailment. But when we as human beings, we are trying to exploit her resources, when we are destroying her creations, it is then that this disease is not going away. So the problem, guys, is not just climate change. The problem is man-made climate change, the climate change which we are causing. You're getting my point? Anybody feeling like yawning? Okay. Is climate change for real? You know, बहुत लोग question करते हैं कि climate change is fake. Some people say it's a hoax created by China or some other country. Some people say that no, it is a fact. I would say that don't believe either of them. Believe what you see around you. We are going to discuss that. If you feel that it is really happening, then climate change is happening. Okay? But if it is happening, should you care about it? Why should you care about it? Agar our earth is facing a climate change, then why should we care about it? It's because this planet where we live on, it's a unique one. There is no other planet like this. It's like a spaceship where we are riding upon and going around the sun every year. Right? If anything happens to this spaceship, we don't have anywhere else to go. I don't want to make this session as a lecture session or an environmental studies class. So we'll quickly take a look at some facts. Now, in our daily lives, we are always surrounded by three elements, right? Land, air, and water, right? And let's try to find out what is happening in each of these elements. Some examples, some key facts. On land. So a key point is planting a tree is much better than wearing a mask to be safe from pollution, right? Some facts, I'll just give you some facts so that you can understand what is happening. There is no technical discussion over here. So according to United Nations, 18 million acres of forest. You have heard of the country of Panama in South America? It's of the size of Panama that the amount of forest gets destroyed every year. And it is real, it's happening. As a result, what is happening? The trees are going. We have all heard about this term as greenhouse effect, right? What is the greenhouse effect? It's the most important greenhouse effect is, or rather most important greenhouse gas is? No, CO2, right? Yes, come, what's your name? You got a chocolate? Okay, here's one for you. That's right, carbon dioxide is the most significant greenhouse gas. All others are associated ones. So, and we all know that trees take up carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So as the trees are going, what is happening? More and more carbon dioxide is there in the air. It is creating an artificial blanket around our planet and we are getting warmed up. That is called global warming, right? So the idea is 18 million acres, a size of a country of forest gets destroyed every year. Apart from that, 80% of all animals and plants, they live in forests. When we are cutting down the forests, we are killing their homes, right? Coming to air, life will be rare without fresh air. That's a key point. Now, this is something which is technical, but I would still say that if you consider air, every million part of air in today's world has 411 parts of carbon dioxide. Ideally, this level should be below 350. So, we have already exceeded that limit. We are already beyond that limit. It's a global average. Somewhere it is more, somewhere it is less. Water. The key point is, no matter what is your size, saving water is wise. And some facts, there is something called a garbage patch over the Pacific Ocean. Garbage gets dumped onto the ocean. You know, not many of us know that 80% of all sort of pollution ends up in the waters. Any kind of pollution, 80% of it goes into the water. And the garbage patch over the Pacific Ocean, it's 700,000 square kilometers wide. It's as big as Texas in the United States. What else? When we are burning petroleum, when we are burning organic fossil fuel in our factories, in our cars, 1/4 of whatever toxic gases are getting emitted, they get absorbed in the waters. As a result, what is happening? The water is becoming more and more acidic. अगर पानी acidic हो जाएगी तो क्या होगा? The aquatic life form will die. The fish and so many different things that live in the oceans, they will die one day. और जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एयर में रहता है, that is creating a global warming. So polar ice caps melt हो रहे हैं. Correct? Last 100 years में अपना sea level has risen by 7 inches. And every inch of sea level rise consumes 50 to 100 inch of beach or land. So land where we are living upon gets eaten up slowly and slowly. Okay? Now, that was something which people are talking about. It's in the news. Many people say this. But there must be some things that we see in our daily lives, which is a part of climate change. और हम बोल सकते हैं कि this is happening because of climate change, which you see in your daily lives. If you can identify that, I will give you an example. I live in Kolkata. I've always lived in Kolkata from my birth. And when I was small, you know this bird, this is a house sparrow, right? In literature, it was always called a farmer's best friend. Why? You know, because it used to eat small insects from the harvest. And in our area, I could spot about hundreds of house sparrows every week. But today, unfortunately, because the trees are going, because of pollution, because of whatever changes have come over the years, I hardly see a house sparrow in my locality. In Kolkata is a very green city, but still I don't see house sparrows as many as we used to see. I can say this is climate change I can see around my life. You guys have an example that comes to your mind? Anybody that you think is happening because of climate change? Yes? Viral infection. I'll come to that point. Good. Okay. Rainfall. Yes, right. In fact, the rainfall, I'll share a personal experience. My business is about manufacturing medicines, and so I have a factory in Gujarat, and Gujarat is very close to the desert, right? The rainfall is not that much over there. This year, rainfall in Gujarat is more than what is happened in Bengal. Bengal has always been a monsoon friendly state, but the reverse is happening. So correct. Anything else that you see around you which you think is something which I can relate to climate change, if you can identify this, then only you can say I can do something against it. Yes.
Amazon rainforest fire was happened.
Amazon rainforest fire. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? What you see as climate change? What you think is climate change around you? Yeah.
Humid temperature. Humid temperature.
Humid temperature. Correct. Okay. Yes. So let's try to identify these points, and then only we'll be able to say, okay, let's do something against it. One more example. This is a very famous example. It's the bumblebee example. Okay. So the bees are going away. There are not many bees which are surviving in today's world. Why? Because flowers are going away. In a city, we rarely see flowers around us. If the flowers go away, the bees, what will they have? What will they feed upon, right? And a study says that the bees help to pollinate a lot of crops. Things like tomatoes, cucumber, onion, they are pollinated. The plants are pollinated by bees, and if the bees go away, maybe these crops would also disappear one day. Other things what we see around us, what you guys said, the first point, vector-borne diseases, right? That's what somebody said over here. Diseases. We have earlier we never heard of diseases like so much predominance of diseases like dengue, malaria, right? But in today's world, in our country at least, we hear about outbreaks of these mosquito-borne diseases many places. Why? Because the climate is making the conditions such that these diseases or these mosquitoes can breed upon. Somebody said disaster, natural disaster. You said Amazon rainforest fire. Close by to where we live, we have heard about the tsunami which happened in 2004. We heard about the floods which happened in Uttarakhand in the year 2013 because of the cloudburst that happened, right? Maybe there is no direct relation to climate change, but there is some connection, definitely, which is causing all these things to happen. Some more examples, friends. A research body called the Wildlife Institute of India, it's in Dehradun, they say that the Himalayas are getting warmed up. They're saying that 0.5 degrees Celsius of temperature and 10% variation in humidity has already happened in the Himalayas. If this goes on, valuable wildlife like the snow leopard or the Kashmir stag, these would vanish one day. These are our treasures. They would go away one day. What's more important? Global warming, this is according to United Nations again. Global warming is happening 1000 times faster than grass can adapt. So if this continues, the grass that is growing around us, it won't be able to adapt itself. Similarly, crops like rice, wheat, which are of the same genre, they won't be able to adapt to this rampant change, and as a result, what might happen? Lesser number of their growth and scarcity of food, right? So these were some examples that I wanted to share with you. Anything that you guys feel is something which is impacting climate change? Anything from your point of view?
Pollution.
Pollution, right. What else do you see as a result of climate change? Anybody? Any idea? Anything that you feel like? Yes? Spreading of diseases, right. Any elders, anything we can hear from you? Okay, so that was a few examples, and now we come to the thumb rule that we talked about at the beginning of today's session, talking about the thumb rule. what we can do to balance whatever is changing. Okay? I would say let us start with something small. Let's take small steps. I have identified 4 small steps that we can do. What are they? First is reduce, recycle and reuse. Something which we can relate to sensitivity, self-control and selflessness. We can reduce our consumption. I don't want a toy every day. Like my son, he constantly says, give me a toy today, give me a toy on the other day. So, if that urge for more is controlled, then we will not exploit more and more resources of this planet. Secondly, save water. Water is the most valuable thing we have in our planet. So, let's not waste water. Let's not dump things in water. This is a simple step which we can do. We can turn off the faucet when we are brushing our teeth, right? Save water. Plant more trees. We can plant flower plants, right, in our houses. Let the bees come back. Let them live. And we are smart creatures. So let's be smart in our consumption of energy, right? So when you are switching off a television, unplug it from the faucet, because if the plug is still put into the socket, it is still consuming some electricity, and that some electricity needs to be generated somewhere at a generation plant, which is consuming fossil fuel and giving out toxic gases. So we can be smart in our energy consumptions. We can be smart in buying appliances which are energy efficient. When we go to buy so when we are going to buy an AC or a refrigerator, we can tell our parents that okay, let's buy something which is more energy efficient, right? Okay, so that's something which I said, and now this is the last slide, and I call it the ice cream versus candle slide. So we all love ice cream, right? What is the motto of an ice cream? Ice cream के life का motto क्या है? Sweet. Okay.
To enjoy life before it ends.
Oh, you know this. Okay. So sorry. So the motto of an ice cream is eat me before I melt. Ice cream को जल्दी खाना पड़ता है, right? So eat me before I melt. It is a very selfish motto, I would say. We are always in a state कि मुझे और भी चाहिए. Before I die, I need to do everything in my life, right? That's the motto of an ice cream. A motto of a candle is I'll give light till I melt. That's a selfless motive. So using these two, I have created my slogan that let us change our nature towards Mother Nature. What is your motto? I'll give you maybe if I can borrow 2-3 minutes. I would love you guys to write down briefly about your slogans, your mottos. I know you had been sitting here for a long time. A little bit about my book. It is called Ringo and the Yogi. It has been published by Srishti Publishers and Distributors with their children's imprint called Cuckoo Tales. The book is about, actually it's about a little 10-year-old boy who goes on a trekking trip with his classmates to Joshimath in Uttarakhand in the year 2013, and there he learns about how to do trekking and about the beautiful Himalayas, its flora and fauna and everything. And over there he meets a mysterious yogi. The yogi is 100 years old according to him. The yogi says he's 100 years old, and he tells inspiring stories to little Ringo, and they become very good friends. And at that moment the cloud burst happens, and everywhere is flooded. And all these kids, they get stranded inside that camp, which is about to be washed away by the floods. The question is, will Ringo and his strange friend, the yogi, be able to do something to save everyone else? That is what the story is about. Do read it if you get a copy, and I hope you like it. So, before we say goodbye, this is my email address and phone number. If you have any queries or anything you want to talk about, whatever we spoke about today, just drop an email, send me a message, or call me. I'll be glad to talk to you. And now we will pick up 4 slogans from among you. So any 4 of you, just raise your hand who wants to come and say what they have written. Any? So, okay. I want 2 from this side to come here. 2 people. Let's make it gender equivalent. So 1 boy and 1 girl if possible. Okay, so you come, and 1 girl come from here if it's possible, or okay, you come. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I want you to tell your slogan and your thumb rule to everybody.
My thumb rule is that if I will cut 1 tree for my purpose, then I will plant 10 more trees and take care of it that it will grow properly.
Okay, can you say it a bit slowly so that everyone can understand?
If I will cut 1 tree for my purpose, then I will plant 10 more trees and take care of it.
Okay, if she cuts 1 tree for her purpose, she will plant 10 more trees. That's a nice thumb rule. And what's your slogan?
My slogan is that end is never end. End means efforts never die. Therefore, if Mother Nature, Mother Earth is getting harmed, then it is in our hand that to do efforts for saving our Mother Earth.
Very good, very good. And here's a copy for you. It's my book. Do read it. I hope you'll like it. Okay, next.
My thumb rule is that it indicates to do always best in life.
What is it?
To always do best in life.
To always do best in life.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe it anything.
Maybe it's anything.
Yes.
All right. And what is your slogan?
Need is the mother of invention. I believe in this slogan because when we need something, it inspires us to create unique things which changes our life.
Okay, so that means you will do something unique to protect your planet and do something against climate change. Okay, that's also a nice slogan. So another copy for you.
Reduce using car, try to go by walking or cycling, and my slogan is reduce pollution and save our motherland.
Okay, so she wants to reduce pollution, especially carbon emissions, right? Good. Okay, so here is a copy for you.
My thumb rule is reduce, recycle, reuse.
Okay, reduce, recycle, reuse. All right.
My slogan is be more curious about ideas lesser than other things.
Okay, okay, and you've written something more also. Okay,
I shall be concentrated, attentive, loving to nature.
okay, so that's a great one, and here's a book for you. You're sharing. Okay, okay. I have a copy for you, don't worry. Okay, so what's your thumb rule and slogan?
Thumb rule I didn't write, but I
Okay, tell me your slogan.
my slogan. Stop the pollution, still you are alive, to save our mother nature and for the future.
Okay, one more time, a bit slowly this time, so that everyone can understand.
Stop the pollution, still you are alive, to save our mother nature and for the future.
Okay, that's a rhythmic, it's a rhyme, right? It's very nice. Here's a copy for you, and Thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you had a good time with me, and let us try to implement our individual thumb rules. Some of you said it on stage, some of you have it on paper, and do please practice the ecological handprint. I think it will be helpful for all of us. Thank you so much for joining in.